Mr. Stavender, can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Okay, got it. If you'll put us on mute and we'll get started here in just a sec.
All right.
Hey, Craig.
Good evening, sir.
I'm gonna ask her to read it out. We're gonna do a moment of silence, y'all. We'll do a moment of silence for Student Johnson. Gotta get his name.
It was Javon, wasn't it?
His service is Saturday.
Okay. Can you hear me? Got me? Okay.
It's on, yeah.
Can you get in?
Mr. Nixon. She's looking for something. Mr. Nixon, say the boy's name.
That first name? Amiri. Amiri.
Mary?
Amiri. It's either Amir or Amiri. So if it's a boy, I'd probably say Amir. Just leave it and leave the E at the end. So it's Amir Johnson.
Good evening and welcome to our Tuesday, September the 9th Committee of the Whole meeting. We want to welcome all of our guests, all of our students, all of our staff, and all of those that are joining us live. We appreciate you being here because we know all of you are a valuable part of making our school district the best. As you see in front of us, we can all celebrate the great accomplishments. We want to start our meeting by saying thank you, thank you, thank you for everyone working together as a team and accomplishing great things. Bell students, can you tell me what that motto or what that banner says on the front right here of our podium? Bell students, look right, yes, up there. Thank you. Yes. We're so thankful. Our Colleton County School District was recognized by our state second in our state for growth in ELA, and we'll hear more about that. We want to start our meeting off by tell me something good. Tonight, for our invocation, I would like for us to stand, and we will remember in a moment of silence the passing of one of our students in the 10th grade. So if we'll pause for just a moment of silence together. Thank you. Dear Heavenly Father, we lift up the Johnson family this evening. We lift up the family, and we lift up Pastor Harry Jenkins, former board member. We ask for your healing hand upon him. We ask for your healing hand upon the grieving family, friends, and our school family, Father. We know that eternity with you is forever, but we pray you will heal our hearts until we're back together with our loved ones. We look forward for a good report from our former board member and employee, Pastor Harry Jenkins, recovering from surgery. We thank you for all these blessings and the opportunity that we have to work together for the children of Colleton County. In your name we pray. Amen. Tonight, I want us, before we do the pledge, we had a dedication, and for those of you that couldn't be there, Forest Hills Elementary has dedicated a beautiful park in memory and honor of teacher Debbie Price, and Superintendent Williams read a beautiful poem in remembrance of her, and I asked her to read that in remembrance of Debbie for our invocation tonight.
Thank you, Chair Strobel. This poem was in memory of Debbie Price, and it simply says, "What will matter is not how many people you taught, but how many lives you touched. What will matter is the way you honored your parents, loved your children, and supported your friends. What will matter is not your memories, but the memories of those who loved you. And what will matter is how long you will be remembered, by whom and for what. Living a life that matters doesn't happen by accident. It's not a matter of circumstance, but of choice. So choosing to teach is choosing to live a life that matters."
Thank you, Superintendent Williams. We all know the life of Debbie Price mattered, and if you have a chance, please visit that beautiful outdoor classroom they have in memory and honor of her. Please join with me now in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. Tonight, we're honored to have the Bells Elementary Beta Club. We would like for them to come forward with their sponsors and tell us about our district mission statement and a little bit about what they do at Bells as members of the Beta Club. Thank you.
Good evening. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about our Junior Beta Club at Bells Elementary. They became a club in 2022, so we applied, got accepted. So they've been up and operational since 2020.
Let's make sure her mic is working so everyone can hear.
What about now? Okay, there you go.
Thank you.
So our Beta Club has been up and going since 2022 at Bells Elementary. We have approximately 25 students in our Beta Club, and we are gearing up for another Junior Beta Club induction that will happen early November. Our students pride themselves on academic excellence and being model students in and out of the classroom. Our National Beta, Junior National Beta, they were recognized on last year as being a Junior Beta School of Merit, and about a month ago we actually earned another recognition, so we're now a National Junior Beta School of Distinction. So that's another award that they received. The National Junior Beta Convention in Myrtle Beach in January, so we're gearing up and preparing for that. So I'm going to let them introduce themselves, but I also want to let you know that our club sponsors are Miss Sarah Pye and Miss Bonnie Hunt. Miss Hunt is out with bereavement, but Miss Pye is here with them. They work diligently with our students throughout the school year. So I'm going to let our students introduce themselves and then read our mission statement.
I am Kenzie Johns, and I am part of Bells Elementary Junior Beta Club. I'm Marley Pye, and I'm part of our Junior Beta Club.
I am Carrington Allen, and I am a part of the Bells Elementary Junior Beta Club.
Colleton County district will prepare every student to graduate with a 21st century education to be globally competitive for their chosen college or career path.
Thank you for giving them an opportunity to model their leadership skills. We look forward to seeing them at future events. Board members, before you, our civility pledge, which we pledge to commit to as members of the state association. So please join with me. I pledge to build a stronger and more effective school board by advocating for civil engagement, respecting others and their viewpoints, and finding solutions for the betterment of my school district. Thank you. Before you, board members, and emailed as well, the agenda is prepared. Please look over it. And notice we don't have public comment on this meeting for Committee of the Whole, but we will have it next week. If anyone's here that needs to give us some public comment, we welcome that. And there'll be forms that you can sign up for or contact Ms. Linda Hyman. Board members, looking at the agenda, anything that we need to modify, or I'll receive a motion for approval.
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion about our agenda? Hearing none, all those in favor, please show your right hand. And Mr. Stavanger, join us by phone. Aye. So we have a full board unanimous vote to approve the agenda. Please note, Mr. Murdoch is not with us. Mr. Irwin is on the way, and we look forward to conducting business tonight, board members, and hearing reports.
Mr. Murdoch.
And Mr. Murdoch is
Also on his way.
also on the way. Good. So we should have a full board before the end of this part of the session. So moving on, board members, just for some information in our chairman's report, the school law conference, we had 2 attendees, and we appreciate 2 of our newer board members attending, and we'll give opportunity now if you'd like to share anything that you thought needed to come back to us as a full board from your conference.
Well, Madam Chair, at our policy meeting last time, I brought forth several of the new policies that the school districts are required by the state to follow. We are going to be having our policy meeting within the next week or so that we can finalize the readings for our full board so that we can have those things passed by November 1.
Thank you. Thank you for bringing those pieces of information back to us from the state law conference. I'm sorry there was quite a flood while y'all were there, but hopefully you were able to be inside and gain some good information. Mr. Cunningham, anything else you wanted to add?
Madam Chair, I just want to thank this board for allowing Mr. Nixon and myself to be able to attend that workshop. It was very educated. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm glad you were able to be there and away from your family and for the weekend, and our attorneys were there as well. So, Ms. Hannah, thank you for being there. Anything noteworthy you wanted to mention, as well as Dr. Bagley was there as a school board member, and anything else that we need to know publicly? Good. Thank you. We look forward to the knowledge that you gain, and we'll get those new policies adopted. Looking into other meetings, welcome, Mr. Irwin. Looking up to further meetings, the regional meeting for our regional collection of school boards, counties that surround us, will be held here. We're hosting September the 24th. Please mark your calendar from 5 to 7. Ms. Hyman is registering us. We do pay, even though we're hosting, we pay our membership to be a registration to be there. So if you haven't let Ms. Hyman know, please let her know if you can be there that night. Also, please make note, the Carleton County delegation, those are our state legislators, they will be in our county on September the 29th at 6, and Superintendent Williams will be presenting some good information to them, and we always look forward to working with our legislators. Of course, that's open to the public. If you want to attend, mark your calendar. It is at the library, the county library. Anything else? Okay. Looking forward to December, there is an opportunity for a legislative advocacy conference, and we delegate someone for that. So be thinking if your calendar will permit for you to go to that conference. Let me know, and we'll be happy to nominate someone next week so we can fill those slots. Would that be appropriate? So check your calendars. We'll have a delegate and an alternate for that event. Last year, Mr. Irwin attended and brought back information, so we get one delegate and we'll have an alternate. Okay? So check your calendar on that. We'll just take care of that next Tuesday. The policy committee for September, the date, Mr. Irwin, did I hear September 22nd is agreed upon for the 3 members? Correct. Okay, so board members will have a policy committee. Thank you, Mr. Cunningham, Mr. Irwin, and Mr. Nixon, to look at some policies that our administrators and legal are helping us review, and that would be Monday, September the 22nd. What was the time?
5 p.m.
At 5 p.m. And that's all I have as a chairman's report. And I appreciate your attendance at these meetings and at the small group meetings and other things that we've had, and the ribbon cuttings and other things that we're able to attend. So, Ms. Williams, we're moving into staff recognition. I see some smiling faces here today, and we love the opportunity to recognize, because every member of Team Colleton works for kids and makes important contributions towards becoming a world-class school system. So it's great to see some guests with us, as well as employees that we know worked really hard today, and we want to recognize you.
All right, thank you, Chair Strobel, and I want to say good afternoon to all of our board members, and I also want to say good afternoon to all of our district staff who are here, and to our students that are here, to our teachers, our visitors. Thank you, everyone, for being a part of our meeting tonight. Tonight is my favorite part of the meeting, and this is where we will recognize our staff members for going above and beyond. So I'm going to ask Dr. Wright and Dr. Jenkins to come up and assist at this time. And we have a few staff members that we would like to come up, and I'm going to read what your principal wrote about you, and we would like to get your picture and have you shake our board members' hands, okay? So I'm going to start with Bells Elementary, Miss Bonnie Hunt. She may not be here. Is she here, Principal Ferguson? Miss Bonnie Hunt? She's not, okay. Okay, I have that one too. Yes. All right, so we're going to call Miss Sade Reed Egbert to the front, please. And please give her a hand as she comes. Egbert is the administrative assistant at Bells Elementary School, and she goes above and beyond for our staff and students at Bells Elementary School. She commits to taking an additional role on additional roles to ensure that everything flows smoothly. She is efficient with her work and has a very good work ethic. She has only worked for us for about 6 months. 6 months. But if you saw her work, you would think she has been working with our school for many years. She volunteers to transport our international teachers that do not yet have transportation to and from work with no additional compensation. She truly deserves this recognition. So let's give Ms. Egbert another round of applause. Next, we have from Blackstreet Early Childhood Center, Miss Donna Crosby. If she would come up, please, and if you would give her a round of applause. Miss Donna Crosby is a kindergarten teacher and mentor at Blackstreet Early Childhood Center. And Principal Pearson, is she here with us tonight? She's not here. But Miss Crosby and I go way, way back. Right, Miss Crosby? But Mrs. Crosby does it all, and she does it all with grace. She is unofficially her kindergarten team lead and takes our entire kindergarten team under her wing. She takes on responsibilities without being asked and with joy instead. She serves as an official mentor to one new teacher, but as an unofficial mentor to many throughout the building. Children love her, staff appreciate her, and parents remember her. It's not just a job for Mrs. Crosby, it is her passion. Let's give Ms. Crosby another round of applause. Next, from Forest Hills Elementary School, we want to recognize Miss Ashley Whaley, first grade teacher. Marino is here, and this is what he wrote about Miss Ashley Whaley. Forest Hills Elementary is proud to recognize Mrs. Whaley with the Above and Beyond Award for her outstanding dedication and leadership. She has already taken the initiative to coordinate the upcoming Fall Festival, ensuring a fun and successful event for our school community. In addition to her planning efforts, she serves as a mentor to 2 new teachers, offering guidance, support, and encouragement as they begin their journey. Mrs. Whaley, and I think it's Jacobs now. Yes, Mrs. Jacobs. But you're going by Whaley? Okay, all right, I'll keep it there. All right, Mrs. Whaley also steps in without hesitation to call names for the car rider line in the afternoon, always ready to lend a hand wherever needed. Her commitment truly exemplifies going above and beyond. Let's give Mrs. Whaley another round of applause. Next, we have from Colleton County Middle School, Mr. Ricky Haynes. If you would come forward, please. And we have Principal Peoples in the audience, and I want to read what Principal Peoples wrote about Mr. Haynes. Mr. Haynes is a highly valued member of the Colleton County Middle School team. He consistently goes above and beyond his normal duties as a PBSS, demonstrating an exceptional level of dedication and commitment to our school. He arrives early and stays late each day to ensure that our school is safe, organized, and running smoothly. He plays a vital role in organizing a safe and efficient dismissal process, working with buses to make sure students get home safely. He assists with the organization and distribution of instructional materials, including textbooks, to support teachers in preparing for instruction. He not only supports students with behavioral needs, but also provides academic assistance, reinforcing Colleton County Middle School's mission of serving the whole child. He is always willing to step in wherever needed, showing teamwork, reliability, and a genuine commitment to our students and staff. We are truly fortunate to have Mr. Haynes as a part of our school family. His dedication, hard work, and positive attitude makes a lasting impact on our students, staff, and overall school culture. So let's give Mr. Ricky Haynes another round of applause. And I'm going to tell you, every time you ask Mr. Haynes how he's doing, he says, do you mind saying it, Mr. Haynes? Say what you always say. He always says it, I love my job. And last but not least, we want to recognize from TCTC, Miss Denise Wright Johnson. Let's give a round of applause. And we also have Director Andy Kubik here with us tonight, and I'm going to read to you, Miss Johnson, what Mr. Kubik wrote about you. Miss Denise Wright Johnson has taken the bull by the horns with her new responsibilities. She is now the work-based learning coordinator and has been making contacts to secure opportunities for our students. She has researched the guidelines for career readiness as it relates to work-based learning, and she has been diligently assisting teachers in organizing and being prepared for student placements. She is a true joy to have at TCTC. So let's give Ms. Denise Wright Johnson another round of applause. And we go way back too. All right, we'd like to take a picture with you, and then we want you to shake our board members' hands.
That's amazing. It's a good team. You work hard.
No, I don't see it. I don't see the date at all.
Appreciate you. Thank you, Denise. You ever need somebody just to
We know
talk
you
to
do.
about it?
Keeping it real.
Hey,
So if you just call me, we talk. That's right.
we love you. It's all good in the neighborhood. Everything. You've had a crazy afternoon. It's been wonderful. Lots to celebrate. As far as we can appreciate. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I can't wait to be a part of Bill's reading.
Where were you with
I'm assuming that will be part of
Where were you with Jessica?
Okay. Well, call us when you need us. Thank you.
Okay, masters. Thank you. Thank you for all you're doing.
Ignition for tonight.
Thank you. Let's give them all another big hand. Yes. Superintendent Williams, I'm going to challenge you and board members, we need to find some way to give back to some of these teachers that get recognition, because it's just amazing how much extra they do, teachers and staff. So we need to find a way, challenging the local businesses, that we can give back to these teachers for all they give to our students. I know they don't do it for anything but the children, but if we can find a way to give back to them. Thank you, Superintendent Williams, and principals, for your nominations.
They've left us smiling.
Yes, they love smiling. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Kids in hand. Okay, we'll move on. That was delightful. And we're looking at first reading, board members, so we don't, we need to take some action on first reading so they can go to second reading for our next meeting, is what we're hoping to do. So if you look, board members, we've received policy GCB, professional staff contracts and compensation. And these are some things that needed, just some tweaking and things that our attorneys have helped us with. So if you see policy GCI, professional staff development, and also looking at transfers and assignments, and looking at student absences and excuses. Those were all reviewed at the policy committee meeting, if you need to review that meeting, or if you were able to be in attendance. So at this time, I'll entertain motion for first reading. We'll get a second if there's any discussion.
Do you want them individually?
I can do them collectively if everybody's okay with that.
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we approve as presented policies GCB, policy GCI, policy GCK, and administrative rule JCKR, and policy JF as reviewed and prepared from the policy committee and our legal team and administration.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion on the first reading of those policies? Hearing none, we look forward to those being approved as second reading so they can be put into our policies. But if there's no discussion, I'll entertain a vote. For all those in favor of the first reading, say aye. Aye. And thank you. So we have everyone. Thanks for participating, and we have a unanimous. Any nays? We have a unanimous vote. Thank you. First reading has been passed. So moving on to our superintendent's report, we applaud Superintendent Williams for your staff and the efforts. We've already recognized the state saying that we were second in our growth for ELA. We look forward to her report because we know effective leadership supports learning and optimal performance for all students. So we're seeing examples of that, and we look forward to your report.
All right. Thank you again, Chair Strobel. And I want to say good evening again to everyone. Each month, if you would go to the next slide, please. Okay. There we go. That's it. So each month, I feature a partner with the school district, and this month I want to highlight our partnership with SC Works. And I have placed information in my weekly updates to the board, and I've also mentioned this partnership in one of our executive sessions as well. I have had our attorneys to review the MOU, and I am ready to sign it. I just wanted to see if there were any additional questions concerning the partnership. Just want to let you know that SC Works provides services such as career guidance, job referrals, and testing and training to meet the needs of job seekers, employers, and those looking to further their careers. So tonight, I have asked Mr. Horvath to come forward to just give a brief overview of what that partnership will look like and to answer any questions, any lingering questions you may have before I move forward with signing the MOU. Mr. Horvath.
Thank you, Mrs. Williams. Thank you for having me. Chairperson Strobel, board members. I'll keep the briefing brief, and then you can ask any questions and hopefully we can answer them to your satisfaction. So right now we have adult education aligned under the State Department's Office of Career Education. And under that office, they talk about a high-quality workforce-aligned education pathway. In other words, what the local economy needs here in the Low Country, we need to be preparing our students, regardless of age, in a close continuum from kindergarten all the way through adult to prepare for those individuals to enter the workforce where they can earn a very livable wage and contribute back to our community. And if you look to the workforce development of the Low Country Council of Governments, SC Works, again, same thing, equip not only job seekers, but also support local employers finding the individuals they need. And that truly is a continuum all the way from the time that child comes into our school system until they're an adult and they take a traditional route to graduation or they come through adult education. So our South Carolina Works partner staff will provide an additional receptionist for our main office. We will locate the adult dislocated worker, youth workers. They're really, they help people get not only jobs, but also paid internships, on-the-job training, and all of those different types of things. And we're partnering with them to be not only a gatekeeper, we give the test of adult basic education to help those students access those funds, but also to support them with the academic work so we can connect them with post-secondary and get them into the workforce. Also, Wagner Pizer will be located here, and what that brings is a resource room and technology as well as adaptive technology for anyone coming in looking to find a job. They can go on the South Carolina Works online system, and we've been doing this partnership for over 20 years. But you know, what really matters is location, location, location. And this is a hub. This is a great location, not only for the city, but also transportation-wise as well. And so we'll be able to hopefully access more people, work more closely together, and be effective in reaching those individuals.
Mr. Horvath, what hours will they be open, just so the public would know? You got it on there, right? You're going to get to that?
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
So they'll be here from 8 until 4:30, the usual time that the administrative office is closed. Now, of course, Calc is always there at least on Tuesdays and Thursdays until 8 p.m. So we'll be around a little bit longer, but their staff will be leaving at 4:30. And so again, it's that whole process of providing a bridge to in-demand jobs by providing that intermediate training to get the folks out into the workforce. And they provide already a multitude of things. If you look at a job fair over at the high school or a career awareness fair over at the high school, over at the Armory, those folks, all those partners are already there. And so this will just effectively maximize our cooperation with one another. So if you have any questions, I'll do my best to answer them. And if I don't have the answer, I will get it to you in a relatively short period of time.
Mr. Horvath, do you know if they will have a sign present so that it can direct individuals to their office?
That is correct. I was able to provide a certification for their local center here in Carleton County, which will of course be moving here. And during that process, they are required to have signage. All signage will meet all requirements of the local city, and so it'll be professional, it will be visible, yet not overbearing.
How are they getting the information out that, they've moved from their former location?
Well, as soon as we do that move, we'll of course have a media blitz to let them know. They'll be doing that and funding that. And of course, they have individuals responsible for this across all the partners. For example, there's a Dr. Tony Paulin. He's the business services coordinator. He supports local employers, on-the-job training, all kind of things. So he has connection with the employers who direct many of their people here. And when you go on the South Carolina Work Online system, again, there are addresses to where all of these are. We'll be providing that information as well. So I would imagine we'll be doing those kind of things as well as press releases.
Thank you.
There has been some concern by certain members about interactions between your staff and the students that will be within that general area. Have there been discussions, expectations on what we expect for interactions between the adults and the children there?
Sure. So everyone who comes to us is at least age 17 for adult education. And they do so through a formal process. Their packets are reviewed. I interview every 17-year-old student. When anyone comes into our building, like other campuses here in the school district, they go through an immediate background check, if you will, because they go through a security review by the system the school district provides. They also go through a metal detector, for example. There's always a staff member from Carleton Adult Learning Center present when somebody comes in, and we check them in, if you will, as a visitor or as a student. The same will revolve if anyone is a client or prospective client seeking any of these services that lead to employment. When they come in, they'll go through those same procedures. Their staff, meaning any of the partner staff from SE Works, will go through any of the mandatory training that we go that is pertinent to them as well. So we'll seamlessly share all of that information with them and develop a timeline that all of their folks have that in a relatively short period of time, so they're ready to meet everyone who comes into the building. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Horvath. Yes.
Opportunity for all of Carleton. Thank you.
Yes, it's good they mesh together, and it can be profitable for our students in the future as well as the adults coming back to get what they need. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Superintendent Williams, for bringing that partnership connection to our adult learning.
You're welcome. All right. Thank you, Mr. Horvath. Thank you for that information. Board members, I will be moving forward with signing that MOU. Okay? All right, so I'm going to the next slide, and now the topic that we are so excited about. As you are aware, this school district was on the verge of being taken over by the state. And due to our school report card ratings, which are based upon various components, which I will talk about a little later in my presentation, and because of the persistent work of our teachers, our staff, our administrators, and most notably our students for their performance, our district was not taken over by the state of South Carolina, but rather we increased the number of students meeting and exceeding standard. So last year, our district was not only recognized for their increased test scores, but was also mentioned in State Superintendent Weaver's press release as nearly all of the schools in Carleton County achieved more points on their school report cards than had been achieved in the past 5 years. So this year, The district was recognized in the State Department's press release as having the highest growth in the state, being number 2 in the state of South Carolina for growth in ELA, a 10.2% increase in students meeting and exceeding standards. So we went from 32% of our students meeting and exceeding standard to 42.2%. And I just want to say congratulations to everyone, our staff, our CNI, our student academics, our principals, our teachers, our students, everyone, our content specialists, our instructional facilitators, our students, everyone who made this possible, because it is a big deal. And as you can see, federal programs, namely Tamika Washington, did this banner for me tonight to place here, just to let the world know that Colleton County School District is on the move. We're moving academically, and this is something that we are very, very, very grateful to God for. So I just want to say thank you to all of you. What a tremendous achievement. And I just want to dig a little deeper into our data just to give you some highlights of our South Carolina Ready and our EOC data. So this slide gives a historical snapshot of our SC Ready assessment scores. And our goal is synonymous with the State Department's goal. And their goal is that at least 75% of students scoring at or above grade level by the year 2030. So that's only a few years away. So we want to be synonymous with the State Department of Education and have that percentage of students or more scoring meet or exceed. So we are moving in an upward trajectory, as you can see in this data. The top part of the data, and please be patient with me because I really want to emphasize this tonight, but the top portion of the data shows the performance of all students in the state of South Carolina in grades 3 through 8 in ELA and mathematics. And then the bottom portion of the graph shows the performance of Colleton County School District in grades 3 through 8 in ELA and math. And as you can see, as you look at the data, we have made progress in all grade levels from the 23-24 school year to the 24-25 school year in ELA and math, with the exception of 7th grade math. Because as you can see, there's all green on the slide, except there's one red. So that one red just shows us that there was not an increase. There was actually a small decrease there. But in every other grade level, we made increases. And I just think it's a time for celebration, and I think we ought to give the school district a round of applause.
Ms. Williams, because I'm visual, am I correct in looking at district ELA went from 32% to 42.2?
That's exactly right.
Okay, I wasn't sure I heard you correct when you said it, but now that I see it, it was 10.2 percentage points up from last year, and that made us second in the state for growth. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
That is correct. And I also want to point out that although all grade levels made increases, I just want to highlight those grade levels that made a 10% gain or more. So if you look at this data, you will see that grade 3 in ELA made 10.8 percentage gain. They made a 10.8% gain. Grade 3 across the district as a whole. And then grade 5 made a 23.7% gain. Grade 7 made a 10% gain. You normally don't see huge gains like this in data. So it's very good to see that our students are growing. They're growing academically. As a district in math, we know we have a lot of work to do in math. However, we did increase from 17.7% of our students meeting and exceeding standard to 21.4%, which is a 3.7% increase. Also, in analyzing this data longitudinally, which is when you follow the same group of students, you will notice that not only did we improve from one grade level to the next, when you look and track students as a cohort, every cohort of students improved. So for example, if you look at the students who were in third grade in the core school year, they scored 33.5% meet and above, and that same group of students grew in the 24-25 school year to 42.9% met and above. So if you look at that data longitudinally, you will see that the same group of students, when they went from third grade to fourth grade to fifth grade to sixth grade, those students made gains. So in every cohort of students, our students made increases longitudinally, except in grades 5 to 6 and 6 to 7 in math. Those are the exceptions that did not make the growth.
And Ms. Williams, we're seeing growth in the English in every grade, but particularly that fifth grade is a 24.1 change from last year. So
ma'am.
really celebrate what was doing really good in that fifth grade in that group of students.
Yes, ma'am. And at our next principals meeting, we're going to really do a deep dive into our data. We're going to have data reflections and just create our goals. Our assessment and accountability department is going to lead our principals through a data exercise so that we can look at our data and talk about strategies that we need to either continue implementing or new strategies that we need to implement so that our scores can continue to increase. If you look at the next slide, this particular slide, yes, sir.
1 second, Superintendent. Quick question.
Yes.
Those students who were seventh, could you go back that one? Those students who were seventh grade, 24, 25, are now in 25, 26, eighth graders. Are we doing anything special to sort of push them forward? Because apparently they need some extra love.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay.
sir. And that is one of the things that we are discussing when we meet with principals to talk about different strategies that we can utilize. But in math, I can tell you at the middle school that Principal Peoples has implemented math labs there at the school to give those students additional interventions that need it. He also has a math interventionist now that works with individual students that need it. And we are also a part of the State Department's math, what is it called?
Math Nation.
Palmetto Math Project. Palmetto Math Project. So basically, that project provides tutoring to our students who need that extra support. And we will be working with Sylvan Learning Center to provide that extra intervention for our students. So hopefully with those interventions that I just named, we will see more increases in our math scores next year.
Thank you, Mr. Nixon. That was a good question. Ms. Williams, thank you for a deep dive there. And we might get some of those retired math teachers to volunteer and come back. I know there was one at the ribbon cutting that Sharon and I spoke with.
Yes, ma'am, and there's one sitting,
Yeah.
there's one sitting up on that podium as well.
If they'll
We
let me
have her
know.
otherwise occupied, Ms. Williams. She can't double dip. Ms. Strobel can. Wish we could.
For free.
If you look at this slide, and I'm not going to go through it, but basically this slide basically shows which grade levels at each school had the highest growth in ELA and math. So if you look, it says North Side, all grades in both ELA and math had growth. Cottageville, all grades in ELA and third and fifth grade math. So you can look at that data. And, you know, we have a lot to celebrate. We really do. So if you look at that data and if you have any additional questions there, I'll be happy to answer them. Okay, I'm going to go to the next slide. And this slide, with our EOC assessments, we saw gains in Algebra 1 moving from 20.7% C or better to 27.5%, which was a 6.8% gain. Then in Biology 1, English 2, and U.S. History, we saw decreases there. So, we don't like to see that red, but you see that there's a good bit of red there in our EOCs. However, we do have a plan. And as I said before, we will be doing some deep diving into our data with our principals. And also our district consultant, Dr. Bagley, is going to lead our principals through a root cause analysis to determine the levels of rigor, to make sure that our assessments are rigorous and that they are in line with the standards. So we're going to be doing that deep dive and just thinking about and talking about different strategies that we can use as a district to improve our EOC scores. Just to give you an example, this morning we had observations at Colleton County High School that was organized through the Office of Academics and Student Affairs. So district level staff went to the high school and we went into various classrooms and we were looking at different components on the rubric that we use for classroom observations. And then we had good discussions about what we saw, things that were really good, and things that we could tweak a little. And I want to thank Dr. Jenkins and Mrs. Hedden for leading that charge and making sure that these observations happen on is it a weekly basis? On a weekly basis. So we are in schools. Not only are the schools principals and assistant principals and instructional coaches in those classrooms, but we at the district level are in those classrooms as well. And it's not a punitive initiative. The goal is to go in, see what's happening in our classrooms, and then give suggestions and feedback and collaborate together in order to come up with strategies that will help our teaching and learning. As you know, as you can see, this is my passion. It's my passion because it's our core purpose. Our core purpose is teaching and learning. So I just wanted to highlight the great work that is going on in our school district.
Superintendent Williams, if I can just ask, I know we're doing benchmarks at elementary and middle. What about high school?
Yes, ma'am. We're doing them at the high school level as well. It slipped my memory the name of the assessments.
Mastery Connect. Okay.
Yes, Mastery Connect.
Does it predict what we're seeing? I know what the iReady's predicting well. Is the Mastery Connect predicting well? See heads nodding?
And this is only the second year we're utilizing that program, is that correct?
That's correct.
Madam Chair, if I may
At the
ask.
high school.
At the high school.
Now, we have used Mastery Connect maybe a few years ago at the elementary level. We used it for maybe 3 or 4 years we used it. And then, we made some changes in our curriculum and we wanted it to be aligned. So as you know, now we use iReady. But we use Mastery Connect at the high school level.
Man. And just if I may add to the question that was just asked, and that is to ask if, as we see these results, and I know that there's an enormous amount of effort being done, if when there comes the time that in the past we've had reports to the board on the specific strategic plans in place for our schools and the efforts that they are making to use this data as a catapult into new and different strategies. If the high school could be one of the first to present, I appreciate what you said, that there's nothing punitive about the efforts that are going on. It is a deep dive into what needs to be done, but I'd like, if we may, as a board, support those efforts and better understanding the new and different approaches that they may be taking to see improvement.
Most definitely. We will make that happen. Okay, and then the last slide of data pretty much gives you a comparison of the state of South Carolina and Colleton County with the SC Career Ready assessment scores. Overall, in the 24-25 school year, Colleton County had 50.2% of students meeting the South Carolina Career Ready standards, while the state saw 69% meeting standards. So, as you can see, there is work to do, and there are different levels, achievement levels. Our goal is to make sure that our students are scoring at achievement level 5. But as I said before, we have to make sure that our work is aligned, that we are supporting schools and schools are implementing those best practices, those good strategies to make sure that our students are college and career ready. As I said before, we do have work to do, but we have to work smarter. We have to work smarter and think about how we can really prepare our students to be career ready.
Superintendent Woods, what are ways for the deep dive here to improve getting our students to higher levels?
So I'm going to defer that question over to our curriculum department. Ms. Hedden, would you like to just talk about some of the things that are going on as far as preparing those students for career readiness? And Ms. Bozeman, I know from the high school as well, if you all.
And if they need to get back to us, it's fine, because this is a slide, that I'm glad we're seeing, but, if you want to add that for next week, it's fine. I don't want to put them on the spot unless they're ready.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you. Yes.
We can do that next week.
Thank you. Thank you.
I can't help but also, after having reviewed this information and knowing these statistics, being appreciative for Ms. Wright Johnson as she was commended this evening.
Yes.
For making those connections, just knowing that TCTC has that new focus and that we've got
Right.
staff that are doing new and great things was a good collaboration. Sorry,
Most
Mr.
And possibly if we could look at other schools around the state, maybe that are achieving at higher levels and what they're doing at the high school level, to get some examples. Yes, Mr. Nixon, thank you for being
And my
patient.
question, as a Southern gentleman, my question is the fact that our students achieve higher levels in our district than statewide on achievement level 2.
Yes.
How can we push them to do the same thing on 3, 4, and 5?
Yes. I saw that too.
You're right, Mr. Nixon. Yes, and those are the
capable.
kinds of conversations that we are going to indulge in to make sure. But like Ms. Strobel said, one of the strategies, Ms. Denise Wright Johnson, Mr. Kubik changed her responsibilities to focus solely on career development and making sure that our students are career ready, because the state has specific standards that students must meet in order to be college and career ready. And it's also reported on our school report card as well.
Yes, and she is looking for those job opportunities for shadowing and connections for our students. So we welcome our community to be involved in helping us meet these needs. They can help us with these scores. So we look forward to a little more information about level 2. Thank you for pointing that out, that we're higher than the state, and then, how we can get our students to score higher on this. Thank you.
All right. Okay. So this slide, board members, I'm not going to go through it, but I just wanted to highlight that although we talked about our assessment scores tonight, I want you to always remember that when our school report cards come out, there are different indicators that are utilized, not just student achievement, but also student progress, which is growth, also preparing for success, college and career readiness, which we just talked about, English language learners progress, graduation rate, high school student success, and school climate. All of these go into the metrics that's used to calculate our school report cards. And we are looking forward to receiving our school report cards by October 15th. That is the date that the state has set. And when those report cards come out, we will come back to you and report our ratings. Okay. This particular slide just outlines some of the things that you've asked about. What are you doing to increase your scores and to continue this upward trajectory? Well, as you know, we started writing turnaround plans. Remember, we started that last year, year before last, in order to make sure, well, year before last, in order to make sure that our district did not get taken over by the state. And we really focused on intensive interventions, making sure that we provided those students who needed it, those intensive intervention and acceleration, because, you know, if students are getting it, then we need to try to take those students to the next level. So we focused really hard on intervention and acceleration. We also focused on stakeholder engagement and also improving the climate and culture of our schools. This is in addition to the academic initiatives that are in place that we are continuing, such as PLCs, looking at our multi-tiered system of support, which is MTSS, looking at our data, having those data meetings and creating goals, and just lesson planning and, you know, having those at-bats and looking at lesson plans and having teachers actually go through what a good exemplary lesson would look like. So these are just some of those improvement efforts that we are continuing this year. Okay. The next few slides, and that ends the data portion of my presentation. The next few slides, I'm not going to delve into these slides, but I just wanted to outline the additional capital project needs that we discussed in depth at our last capital projects work session that was held on Tuesday, August 26th. And we also had small group discussions. And next week, I will present recommendations from the work session and from the small groups for your consideration and for your approval. So I did not plan to have any discussion concerning this tonight unless you have any lingering questions from our work session. I just wanted to place it here, you know, just in case you did have any questions. But I will be working on our final presentation for you. You will receive that on next Thursday, what we will be recommending, taking into account your feedback that you gave us at the small group meetings, and I will be asking for your approval at the September 16th board meeting. So do you have any questions?
Board members, any questions? Next week, we need to be prepared to vote on what's recommended by administration so that capital projects can move forward. If you do have questions that you need answers that you're not prepared to ask tonight, please remember to email Superintendent Williams so she can be prepared to give us answers.
Thank you, Chair Strobel. This ends my report for tonight.
Thank you. Superintendent Williams, I know you're moving on the agenda. We do have our human resource report. So, Ms. Hamilton, if you have some information, we appreciate the report we received and any additional information or questions, board members.
Good evening. My report is similar to last month. Just want to highlight very briefly our recruitment efforts that we have pending. So our coordinator of educator effectiveness, recruitment and retention has scheduled, we have the entire schedule, but I didn't want to give you the entire schedule, so I just included September and October. So we'll be at various universities, not human resources per se, but our district staff, administrators, teachers, and alum of these universities. We try to be strategic in how we send out people, but our target is special education teachers. So just want to let you know that. If y'all have any questions, I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have. Okay, thank you.
Next on our agenda, board members, we have received a finance report, and Ms. Barrett is prepared if you have any questions or any additional information you need to give us. Ms. Barrett, thank you for preparing those reports for our review each month.
I just wanted to highlight a few of the financial revenues, comparing from last year this time to this year. The district revenue changed by approximately 4.5%, which is a decrease in revenue. And it's primarily because of our local revenue that we got from our local government investment pool, and then our EIA was increased by 3.4%. In our expenditure comparison, we had a total decrease of about 26% to the same period last year compared to this year. And basically that, like 21% of that compared to prior year to the general fund is due to last year we gave a retention bonus to our staff, and this year we did not give a retention bonus, so that's why the general fund revenue is less now than it was before. But those are basically the highlights that I wanted to highlight in my report, and I'll be glad to take any question that you may have.
Board members, any questions from the reports we received? Is there anything you need our approval on this month?
No.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to item 6 on our agenda, our academic and student affairs, as we just heard, are improving in some areas, and plans are being made for making improvement in other areas because our core purpose is teaching and learning. So we look forward to Dr. Cordelia Jenkins. Any additional information, we received her report. I was happy to see a highlight while she's coming over on TCTC this month. You added that into our curriculum report, so thank you, because we know those career readiness and things are measured on our report card, so thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Madam Chair, I would like to share some updates from our report before we hear from another one of our outstanding principals this evening. To echo Superintendent Williams, it takes a team in order to improve student achievement, and the works that we do that's also indirectly from the classroom, that's non-instructional, those initiatives matter as well. So we will hear from Principal Garino shortly. To highlight the works of our transformational coach, she continues to work with our school and district leaders on different initiatives that are happening in our schools and data studies. And as Superintendent mentioned, we will take a deeper dive on September 25th with our principals. But right now, she's working closely with Hendersonville Elementary School. If you know, well, as we all know, we have a new instructional leader there, and she's been actually facilitating professional learning communities. We will also meet with Superintendent Williams on Thursday, tomorrow afternoon, with our facilitator from the state. We will, again, receive updates from Mr. Kubik and his team on next week. You'll get to hear about how things are going with the new career and technical educational programs from Mr. Kubik. And from the Office of Student Health, our school-based health screenings will begin on September 22nd. The school leaders will send those notices to our families. There is an outline scheduled. I will not read, but for the sake of the listening audience, those schedules will be sent out by school. As of today, the 26th day of school, we have 4,198 students enrolled in Colleton County School District. Again, 4,198 students. At this time, if you do not have any questions, I would like for Principal Garino to come forward to give updates on our PBSS pilot program. Principal Garino.
Thank you. All right, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So we have an awesome positive behavior support specialist, Ms. Hamlin, but then we had Ms. Crosby join her this year, who's also doing a great job. But what they do, positive behavioral interventions and supports is PBIS, and it's led by our positive behavior support specialists, so PBSS. So you hear those interchangeably, but they're two different things. So our PBSS, both of them, what they do is they facilitate restorative conversations with our students. That helps them solve their problems. We teach them hands and words are for helping, not for hurting. And then, although they hear that all the time, they have to practice what those conversations sound like. So PBSS helps facilitate those conversations, get kids back into classrooms so they can focus on the teaching and learning. We have proactive small groups. Say proactive because we're not waiting for something to get out of control. If we see something might be brewing, we pull them, and they're going to have, like today was Tuesday, so they have Tuesday lunches with the positive behavior support specialists, and they'll just do small groups there. If it gets to the point where someone needs more than that, then we do that from that Tulsa convention, all means all, like core plus more. So if the small group doesn't work, we'll continue the small group and then add another layer of maybe one-on-one with PBSS. All right, so we all hear about shadowing students. Like you shadow, you go where you go, and a shadow is now replaced with an AEA, Adult Educational Assistant, and that's all special education. But what we do with the positive behavior support specialists is we spotlight students. So they'll push into a classroom where a student might be having a challenge, and they'll look for the behavior in the moment, in the environment, and then have data to be able to coach, hey, I saw this, this will happen. And then they'll get to the point where they can, because if you run a spotlight, if someone's moving, you got to keep the light on them and anticipate. So they're going to anticipate the behavior and then intervene right there before it can get out of control. So they support the teachers and the students with that. So we have, I didn't say the pause and reflect room. That's where the two positive behavior support specialists are. So pause, positive attitude, act responsibly, work together, show respect. So those are our pause. So not only do they review those pause, they take a break, they breathe, and then they pause on it. There's mindfulness activities. This is a whole different room. And I'm sorry if I'm going too fast. I'm just trying to get us all in. But we have a mindfulness room, which is totally separate than the PBSS room, but they have access to both of those. So really the strategies are the talking with the PBSS, and then you have different fidgets and those types of things like calm down corners in the mindfulness room. So they have like two resources that they use. But with that pause, we also have pause parties. So if students earn dojo points, if they get the required amount, then we have a quarterly celebration. So they're running that this quarter is going to be a carnival theme. So we're going to have face painting, and they're going to have cornhole toss, and they're going to have snow cones we're talking about, and popcorn, so that kind of thing. And Kona Ice is a smart snack thing. I don't know if I saw that in the email. Like they have that. It must have changed their ingredients maybe. I don't know. But, so
Sugar-free,
last year, if kids did something, they can work hard for this eraser, work hard for this. So then it ended up like, we got to replenish our store. So this year we're working on experiences, and I kind of got that from Bell's because they got to catch a ride to class, and they ride that little red Corvette or whatever it was. So you don't have to really replenish that every day. So we have a dojo den where kids are going to be able to go in and cash in their points for like experiences. Like you can play Uno with your friend. You can play on a foosball table, cornhole. We're going to have a basketball arcade thing in there so they can go in there and have like experiences versus like take this with you and leave. And then also they support MTSS. Because if we're working on behavior and we're just stuck, then that behavior, we only have the time that we have with them throughout the day. If we're spending all that time on behavior, it's taken away from instruction. So we need to get the behavior in check so we can spend more time in the classroom. So all that together is a lot to ask of one person. So when the two people are working together, it's energizing for them to work together. They have great energy with each other, and the kids are going to feed off of that. And it's just a positive climate for the students and for the teachers, for everyone coming through Forest Hills.
So
that's kind of where we're at.
What changes, thank you, that was very good highlight. What changes are you seeing when you compare last year in September to this year? You know, what changes are you seeing? I see lots of strategies that would be positive.
So the changes that we'll see is like we should have less referrals because there should be they shouldn't get to the point where it gets to be a major referral. So that should happen. And then also just people, like I said, having the energy, because if you ask one person to do all that for 400 plus kids, that's a lot. And there's a lot of needs at Forest Hills. So to break that with 2 people and have a teammate to do that, I'm seeing just more energy, being visible, on the move, helping in the cafeteria, and you can continue that if something happens over here. They can take a team approach to handling that, and that just makes the whole building just flow better.
And I know you always had systems when we would come over for events where you know, the kids were very orderly, but are you seeing like they're learning these behaviors and it's sticking?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't really dismissed any kids yet. It's so early that we have them in there. But we don't have like a ton of kids. Like our triangle isn't like flipped. So we're on the right trajectory with it. And we are going to document what happens every time the PBSS meets with people, meets with Cougar Cubs. The professional school counselor has helped create a Google form where they can track everything that they're doing. And we see if kids have more sessions in the beginning of the year, they have less sessions toward the end of the year, then that shows that is having a positive impact for them.
Thank you. Board members, questions? Thank you. I love the experiences more than the gifts. I know that's especially good to get rid of some of that energy they need to get rid of. Great.
Cool.
Thank you.
I did want to ask one thing now. Last year, at the end of the year, you all had a carnival for the children with a bouncy house, correct?
Yeah, you're going to come this
Jumping
time?
castle.
I did not get an invitation last year. I felt some kind of way. I just want you to know, I will be looking.
Please make sure we'll get pictures. We need pictures of that, Superintendent Williams. Please send your communication team over for Mr. Nixon's.
I just want to add, Madam Chair, that Mr. Guarino may speak quickly about things, but it's because I know you live it and you know it so well. And so thank you to having been a substitute in your building and not had the classroom management that other teachers had. I think you've impacted on me what it was and was needed to be a kind educator, and I think that you demonstrate that to your staff and appreciate your explanation of what it is you do in your building.
Yes, he models it. And you Orange people, if you're wondering why he's wearing that garnet today, I'm called to Charleston and neutral, but it was in honor of Debbie. So his team effort today was well deserved for Debbie's, because she loved Carolina, in case y'all didn't know. So thank you. He wasn't just dressed in that to make you Orange people, upset or anything. So Ms. Bozeman, I know you were rolling your eyes the whole time he was presenting, so I thought I might make mention of that. Anything else, Dr. Jenkins?
No, ma'am. Unless you have any questions about the report.
Thank you. I love when you give us the principal's version, because we know they're living it. So thank you. Great idea, like putting your students on display. Board members, we're moving on, and at this time, we look forward. I did want to add, Superintendent Williams, when you meet with State Department representative, maybe ask her about career readiness, other schools, and how they're getting those scores to improve. She might know some things we could learn. Moving to item number 7, board members, our operational management portion of our agenda is important because we all know a safe, secure, and positive learning environment will be conducive for teaching and learning. And thank you for the sound system tonight, and everything's working well with our computers, and the air is pleasant up here.
Good evening, Chair Strobel, Vice Chair Murdoch, members of the Board, Superintendent Williams. You have the Division of Operational Management report in front of you for this evening. There are 2 points of highlights I would like to emphasize for the board based upon board questioning. One is dealing with student athletics, specifically with the turf management. I would like to inform the board that all game fields and practice fields were top dressed as of August 30th. Fall fertilization, as well as pre and post emergent fertilization was applied. And cutting schedule for the game fields is being appropriately managed by the buildings and grounds, and to help promote growth as well as deterring unwarranted weeds and foreign grass. The other point of information I would like to emphasize to the board tonight is from the Office of Student Nutrition, in which our own director, Christina Wallace, will be visiting classrooms and engaging in a read aloud of the book titled Just Try One Bite, to encourage students to explore nutrition and discover fun in trying new foods. That is a new initiative that the Office of Division of Operations will be applying through the Office of Student Nutrition by our director, Ms. Christina Wallace. Madam Chair, Mr. Vice Chair, Madam Superintendent, members of the board, I will stand to entertain any questions that you may have regarding the Division of Operational Management at this time.
Madam Chair, if I may, I just want to thank Ms. Wallace for your efforts. I just was reading a little bit about the Try Just One Bite. I think it's wonderful you're going to be in our schools and promoting that effort, but also Ms. McConaughey, Matthew McConaughey's wife, is the author, and I think you have a crazy resemblance to her, so that's wonderful. I think you're a wonderful example to our students and what they should try. I just want to address a couple of items in the operations report. The Office of Transportation and also the buildings and grounds. As board members, we hear from constituents who give us concerns. We share those with our administration. And I just want to make note of the Bells Elementary project in the library that I know is receiving additional efforts. And so when individuals ask board members about that, we share that with our administration. And we're grateful that, that the Office of Buildings and Grounds is addressing those issues, as well as transportation. When we hear individuals who have transportation issues, we send that to the administration. Administration reaches out to the transportation office, and we're grateful that that communication has been so easy. So thank you for addressing those concerns as they come to board members.
Madam Chair, I did have one question about the Just Try One Bite initiative. When you visit the schools and read this book, are you going to have samples of things for the children to try? Okay, because, I mean, you tell me about broccoli, but let me taste it as a different thing. Okay. And which schools will those be, and can we follow you? Sounds like a win.
So I will be visiting Black Street and also Collegeville.
Thank you. Make sure we get some pictures. Even if we don't get the samples, Mr. Nixon, we'll have the pictures. Any other questions, board members? Thank you. Dr. Wright?
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. Have a good evening.
Board members, Mr. Stavanger will be joining us electronically, so by policy, I need a motion to allow him to attend executive session electronically. Is there a motion?
Madam Chair, I can make a motion that we allow for the presence of Mr. Stavanger in executive session by electronic device.
Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those show your right hand in favor of the motion. Any opposed? Thank you. Mr. Stavanger, you may attend electronically when we move into executive session. Item number 9, board members, we do have 4 items that we need to discuss tonight in executive session. Upon returning, if we need to take action, we will. We have discussion of employment matters, hiring, separation, resignations, discussion of superintendent search, student release, admittance, receipt of legal advice. I'll entertain a motion that we enter into executive session for only those 4 topics.
Madam Chair, I move that we go into executive session to discuss matters 9.01, 9.02, 9.03, and 9.04.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion about entering to executive session? Hearing none, all those right hand are aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. The ayes have it unanimously. We'll be back as soon as possible. We appreciate your attendance, and anything we need to take action on, we will when we return. We're in executive session.
Yeah.
that we enter back into regular session.
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we enter back into regular session.
Second.
There's a motion and a second that we move back into open session. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, right hand or aye?
Aye.
Unanimous. We're back in open session. Board members, there was one item that we talked about in the back that needs action. Is there a motion?
Madam Chair, I move that we not release employee 1 from their contract of employment for the 25-26 school year, pending the hiring of a suitable replacement as determined by the administration.
Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and there's a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the said motion that we not accept the resignation pending a suitable replacement, please say aye or raise your right hand. Mr. Savender? Is he muted? Any opposed? So we have 1 opposed and 6 in favor of the motion. It carried. Any other business that needs to come before the board? If not, we'll see you next Tuesday night. I hope you enjoy some activities. There's some sports events going on that you might enjoy.
I make a motion that we be dismissed.
And we do have homecoming this Friday evening, so we have a motion to dismiss. Is there a second? There's a motion and a second. All in favor, aye or right hand? We're adjourned.